When I was in the cancer center, I remember talking to God and just being like, if you get me through this, I promise you I will go after everything, no matter how scary it is, no matter how big it might seem or impossible.
In their eyes, they kind of limit us to what they can only see for themselves. They don't really see how far our vision can really go because they be like, if it was me, I probably can do that.
My whole idea of what I wanted and who I thought I was shifted because now all I wanted to feel was better. I didn't care about how much money I made. I didn't care about the followers. I didn't care about the clothes I had on. Like, all I wanted to feel was better. I wanted to feel like myself again.
I don't care who leaves at this point in my life because as long as I'm being myself, I'm happy, and then somebody else is being impacted from my happiness.
It gave me the opportunity to see who I was on the inside and start investing into things that can't be taken away, like my knowledge, my character. You can't go to the store and buy confidence.
All these accessories, people get lost in them, and they value them more than they value the person that they truly are because that's what people see. People are more concerned with what people see versus who they actually are.
I went there to try to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And it could have been taking me up a ladder that I realized once I get to the top of the ladder that that's not what I want to do.
Welcome to another episode of Trade Truth Podcast. Today I have a guest with a very inspirational story, inspirational journey. And I can't wait to hear what she has to say and the free game that we're both going to talk about and hear about a journey. So without further more introduction, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Niyah Brown and I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm 23 and I have my own podcast. I do content creation and I'm excited for this conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I always ask my guests every episode, how are you doing mentally?
Mentally, honestly, I'm doing a lot better than I have in the past, to be honest. Like, mental health is constantly, it's like it ebbs and flows, it's like, especially the things that we go through. And as a creative, I think that, we choose a path that is not as mentally stable as maybe something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's constantly changing. But right now, I think it would be pretty good because now that like that event just passed, I have a lot more mental space for
Sure.
me. And I've been pouring back into myself with that.
For sure. And my question for you is now is what is the past? Because the past could be last week, the past could be last year, it could be 5 years from now. What is the past when you mention it like that?
Yeah, honestly, I would say honestly, the past 3 to 5 years, because the things that I went through with like health wise and just like growing up and finding out who I am, like that was like, it's funny because I thought I had a great idea of who I was. And then the things that I went through really made me go through an identity check and figure out who I really was without the stuff that I was attached to. And now that I feel like I have a foundation in that, my mental health is a lot better because I'm more stable within myself than exterior things.
So, your podcast name, before we get into a little bit of yourself, your podcast name has a unique meaning behind it.
Mhm.
Um, where did that podcast name come from, if you can explain it to people that are not familiar with your platform?
Yeah. So my podcast name is I Am Not My Hair.
Hmm.
And for the people that don't see me, I have curly hair. And to explain the meaning kind of ties into what I was saying with like the 3 to 5 years. Basically, growing up, I wanted to do modeling and acting. I was pursuing that and I found myself in Atlanta. I moved there for a year to pursue that just because Tampa always wasn't what Tampa is today. And, I ended up doing, New York Fashion Week. I was around creatives and entrepreneurs and people that were really the doers. And then after I came back from New York Fashion Week, I noticed that I was going through hair loss. Like it was in the drain, it was in my brush, it was clear that what I was going through. And that went on for like time, like months and months passed, and I was still going through hair loss and I had to do a big chop and like it got to the point where it was so, 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 so thin. And, growing up doing modeling and acting, you're known for your stats, like your height, your waist, your hair, your whatever, like you're known just for how you look. And I didn't realize how much that really was shaping into who I thought I was, especially, being mixed and being like one of the only Black girls that were really in my class for where I went for elementary school and middle school. Um, I realized that a lot of things that people would compliment me on or say was, "Oh my God, your hair, your hair, your hair," because it was different.
Hmm.
And so I really, really would believe, especially when I was doing modeling and stuff like that, they'd be like, "Oh, like, what makes you different?" I would answer my hair. My hair makes me different. And again, so when I lost that, I was really it got stripped away and I was faced with, okay, so with this gone, who actually am I?
Mhm,
You know, especially because now and that honestly led me into the cancer center, not because of cancer, but that was one of the only places around when I was 19, 20 that were doing iron infusions. And my iron levels were so low, I needed infusions. And so I'm sitting around with cancer patients of all different ages, races, backgrounds, and stories. And I see the cards that they've been dealt. And I'm sitting there like, wow, like, all the things that I was worried about, like New York Fashion Week and everything like that really made me it my whole idea of what I wanted and who I thought I was shifted because now all I wanted to feel was better. I didn't care about how much money I made, I didn't care about the followers, I didn't care about the clothes I had on, like, all I wanted to feel was better. I
mhm,
wanted to feel like myself again,
mhm.
and so I had to literally is again, how I lost it, I had to take the time to build that back up, and
Reality check.
exactly, exactly, and during that hard time, there's a song by India.Arie called "I Am Not My Hair," and in that song, she goes, "I am not my hair, I am not this skin, I am the soul that lives within."
Mhm.
And another fun fact is that's actually where I got my middle name. That song came out in 2005, and I was born in 2003, and not the full government, but but yeah, I was named after, and I thought it was crazy how, like, again, how things like that tie into each other,
Mhm,
and the fact that that song it almost felt like that song was made for me, how funny that it sounds.
mhm. It resurfaced in your life.
Exactly, and so, yeah, that really was the meaning behind that, and it's such a simple thing to say, like, "I am not my hair," but it really does mean, like, who you are on the inside,
Mhm,
because I think for anyone that would have gone through that or what I feel like is that it gave me the opportunity to see who I was on the inside and start investing into things that can't be taken away, like my knowledge, my
mhm,
character. You can't go to the store and buy confidence. You have to work on it, and that
mhm.
can't be taken away.
Yep,
And so once I realized that, it definitely made me a stronger individual. It made me a better individual. And now that I'm, on the other side of it, I can see how much of a gift it really was.
for sure, and I always, tell people, like, today even today, not that what I say, I have a, basically, like, a group on Instagram. It's called a channel, and I have, like, I think almost 400 people in there, and I just send out daily messages of, like, with motivation, and one of my, things that I sent out today was that you don't need luck. Luck is an accessory,
Mm,
and the reason why I say that is because a lot of people tend to cling to things that are truly accessories to who you are as a person. For instance, your hair is an accessory. The way your shape is an accessory. It doesn't add on to who you are as a person. All that can go away. Accessories, I can take this off, and it doesn't change who I am as a person. Your hair, you can cut it off. It doesn't
yeah,
change who you are as a person. So all these accessories, people get lost in them, and they value them more than they value the person that they truly are because
for
that's
sure.
what people see. People are more concerned with what people see versus who they actually are, and that's just today's society. But that's the only reason I brought that up is because accessories tend to hold more value than what we actually have or what we actually are in a sense. It could be shit, it could be car parts, it could be anything. Your car could be fucked up, but as long as it's a cool color, people will look at it, but they
Yeah,
want to know it's fucked up.
exactly.
And that can tie into your car being your mental or whatever the case may be. It's a whole different ways you can go about it.
Yeah.
My next question for you is though, going through that phase, you know what I mean, facing the reality check, it can lead to you changing who you are as a person. It can allow you to, cut off different traits of yourself that people are kind of attached to. How did that transition affect people that were around you or affect your family, including yourself?
In terms of, like, what I was going through and the transition of who I was to who I am now, how did that affect them?
Yeah, so basically, like, what did you really did you lose anything?
Mm.
Because I know in a sense, how I can envision it, like a part of you kind of died. That part
Mhm,
of you that valued all that stuff,
mm.
it died. But what else died with it? Was it certain friends? Was it certain family? Was it certain connections? Was it certain traits? What kind of died with that version of
Yeah,
you?
I mean, definitely, I feel like my biggest thing that died was a mental aspect. Like I said, who I thought I was, and I think everything that we experience stems from us, our friendships, the relationships, and
Mhm,
everything, like you said. So once I lost that part of myself and my mindset and how I was thinking and my old way of thinking and acting, friendships, jobs, like genuinely, my entire life changed from that.
mhm,
And when I like, in terms of even, like, again, how I would view even other people. Because when I went through those shifts, I started seeing things of, like, paying more attention, like you said, not how it looks.
Mhm.
Because it's super easy to get caught up in it, and how I say, like, if you're looking at how I look, you're not seeing me,
Absolutely.
you know? And so, like, again, like, genuinely, when my brain again and at the time, I was 19, 20.
Mhm.
While I was going through this, a lot of people my age are out in college drinking and going through all these different walks of lives, and
Mhm.
I'm here learning what I'm learning, and then also, in the cancer center and having these conversations with people that are usually older, that have more experience, like, it genuinely changed everything about me, and honestly, I went into a deep, deep isolation, and I think in the isolation, a lot of, again, like, people kind of, fell out of my life slowly, and it felt again, it was a really, really hard time in terms of, like, again, I'm young and I'm, like, it's in isolation, so it was, like, depression, anxiety, and it really changed so much in me that my exterior had no choice but to change.
Mhm.
But then when I say thought I had nothing, it was clearing the slate clean so I could build on top of that. And
Mhm.
so, like I said, it was a gift. So, I mean, everything changed.
That's good, and I have 2 questions for you. The first one, just keep it rolling with isolation. Do you feel like isolation was something that you needed in your life to become the person that you are now?
For
And
sure.
how did isolation kinda like, what was that isolation? What did it look like? Because for me, like most of my audience know that watch my podcast, they know, like, I talk about how I suffered depression for 4 years without even knowing it. Isolation didn't really hit me until I graduated college, because now I'm an adult and now everything is more of it at a fast pace, but it's on my own terms. If I don't have control of that pace and those terms, then you basically going down the hole. And that was my life for 2 years. I graduated in 2023. For 2 years, all the way into 2025, I was in a hole. I was in a spiral.
Mm,
Four walls was my comfort zone, my room. I couldn't escape that for nothing in the world. People would try to invite me out because they knew who I was as a person, but I didn't even know myself. I couldn't
mm,
get myself out of that hole because I was so stuck. I
mm,
didn't know nothing but four walls. So that was my isolation. I needed that in order to become the man that I am now, being in the present, but I was too scared to face a mirror. And when I finally faced that mirror, it was like the greatest thing that ever happened. So how was
mm.
isolation for you? Was it dark? Was it something like more of a, vulnerable place, or was it something like more of a motivational aspect for you?
Hmm. My isolation took place when I was in Atlanta,
Mhm.
and it was basically, again, like, I moved to Atlanta, and then right after that, I was in New York, and then, like, again, I was moving out there for a year, 2 months in this stuff started happening.
Yeah,
And so, for me, right when I moved there, when you move to a city, no one knows you and you don't know anyone.
exactly.
And so, because this stuff was happening to me and I was indoors, I wasn't really meeting individuals. I wasn't going out of my way because, again, like, my this stuff was happening, it was heavy and it was deep. And, like, again, I'm like 19, and so all, like, my comfort zone is back in Tampa.
Mhm,
And so my family and everything like that, like, we would check in and stuff like that, but a lot of the time it was just me in that apartment in that room,
mhm,
and, asking, "Why is this happening?" Like, especially because I have a lot of ambition, and I've always been an ambitious person,
mhm,
and, like, again, like we said, like, it's easy sometimes to move quick and fast, and for me, I'm always thinking, like, "How can I just get over this to get to the next thing?" I was always trying to get onto the next thing, and isolation really, really made me slow down.
mhm,
It really, really made me, like you said, look in that mirror, look within, and so my isolation in the beginning, I was trying to just push through it and get through it, so I was like, "Okay, fine, well, I'm gonna read all the entrepreneurship books. I'm gonna read Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits. I'm gonna better myself. I'm not gonna let this slow me down. I'm not gonna da da," like,
mhm.
I was so quick to do that, but then
You were a fixer.
yeah, always. Always, 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 and so then after I realized that this was out of my control and this wasn't a problem that I necessarily could fix, that's when the depression hit me because I really do like to be in control in terms of that type of stuff
Mhm,
with my life. And so that's when the depression kicked in, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Okay, what do I have to learn?
mhm,
What are you trying to teach me?" And so it was just me there, and again, I just spent a lot of time sometimes literally just sitting in that room and just thinking and feeling what I was in because
mhm,
I said, "Okay, well," also knowing that I wanna pursue, content and everything like that, I said, "Eventually, I feel like this is gonna be a story that I have to tell," and so I tried to make sure I was really present. A lot of the time too, I would prop my phone up and I would put on actually Snapchat, and because Snapchat has their own memories and you can record
Mhm.
that, so
Yep.
I thought it was a great place for a digital diary, and I would sit there and I would record and I would just talk to my camera,
Mm,
and I would just document what I was feeling, what I was going through, and I just have a bunch of videos from the last years really just talking and
mhm,
expressing, and I always was talking to my future self so that I could remember what it was like in that moment. So then now I can look back and tell my story and genuinely connect with that version of myself.
mhm.
And so like right here talking to you, it's that version of me talking to you as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it looked like. It was a lot of like slow time and time
Mhm,
with myself. And I think to another answer to your question is I think it's definitely important, and it's definitely a big reason why I am here today. And I think isolation sometimes is either forced on us or sometimes it can be a choice. But I think that everyone should go through a period of isolation. The times and the time can range. Sometimes it might be for a month, sometimes it might be months, sometimes it could be year for some people.
mhm,
And I think it's genuinely so important because like I said, this life can move so fast, but if we can find those moments to slow down and just be with ourselves,
mhm.
it can propel you ahead. We try to move so quick that we don't even realize sometimes it's just busy work, but the work that you can get done in isolation could actually take over for what you were trying to do and
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
progress it.
I tell people all the time, I said it, on my last episode, I think a couple like 2 episodes ago, I basically was telling people, that we're always in a race to the future when we don't even know who our future self is. We
Mhm.
always wanna race and get to this place where the more you rush, the more you make impulsive decisions or you make lack of, knowledge decisions, you're gonna end up killing the future self. And that future self is gonna be somebody that when you get to that place or say if I wanna hurry up and do everything so at 60 I can be on an island chilling, by the time I'm 60, I might be beat up.
Mm.
I might not even be able to have an island. I might not even be able to drive to an island. My legs might be gone. You don't know because you're trying to rush there.
Yeah.
You're not taking time to savor every moment. And by the time you get to 60, you're gonna be an old miserable person. It's a lot of people like that. A lot of old people or miserable because their life didn't turn out how they wanted it to because they were in a race and they didn't think about the decisions that they made. And it's no shade towards them, but it's just the reality. A lot of people like to get to that end destination instead of just savoring the moments that happen. And with my isolation, I learned that no matter what you do, because I was a fixer my whole life, I always been a fixer where there'd be problems or other people problems, anything. I always wanted to fix something because I know I had the capability of doing so. But what I learned is no matter how fast I try to fix a problem, it's still gonna be a problem at the end of the day. It's
Mhm.
gonna be there 5 minutes from now, an hour from now, it's still gonna be a problem. So enjoy what you have now before you try to race and fix that problem, because that problem can literally kill you.
Yes.
That problem can take you out. But my next question for you is, noticing that that was a period of isolation for you, do you think Atlanta was your checkpoint? Like you in a mile race, or let's just say a marathon, that checkpoint was where, okay, I need a break. I need some water. I need to figure out what's the next steps for me. What do you think Atlanta was your checkpoint?
I could say that, but one thing that I like calling Atlanta, and it's so funny how the way everything works because the building that I was staying in Atlanta was
Mhm,
called the Catalyst. And if you know the definition of the catalyst, it basically means to get from point A to point B quicker or
mhm,
just to help accelerate you on that path. And I would say Atlanta was my catalyst. And that's exactly why I named my event the Creator Catalyst, is because it's
mhm,
like I want to pour into these individuals the way Atlanta poured into me. And so Atlanta genuinely Atlanta was like it really fast tracked. Like as much as it, like I said, felt like it was slowing me down,
mhm,
it put me so far ahead because it was rebuilding the mental. A lot of the time we try to focus on the external things,
exactly.
and it genuinely, if we focus on the mind, our emotional stuff, if we healed sometimes a trauma, if we journal, if we actually ask ourselves, are we okay? Like if we check in with ourselves
Mhm,
as that checkpoint, I feel like it gives me better results. Like I went there to try to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And it could have been taking me up a ladder that I realized once I get to the top of the ladder that that's not what I want to
yep,
do. And what good is that? And then how much time do you waste? You still have to come back down the ladder, figure out what ladder you actually want to go on. And so Atlanta, it almost was like a halt, extreme halt.
Sure.
so that I was able to get in alignment to go after what I really wanted.
Mhm.
So, it was my catalyst.
That's good. That's good that you have your own meaning behind it. Cause another thing that I always tell people as well too, like I try to whenever I have guests, I try to allow them to tap in back to who they were,
Mm,
versus who they are now. Basically meaning like a traumatic moment, as a child or anything like that, and just basically say, what are some words you would give to yourself? Because a lot of people can't tap back into that moment. Like a lot of people don't have that memorable or core memory to where they can use something as their checkpoint. Like for me, my checkpoint was me going to college. That's when I realized like it's nobody's coming to save me. That's my biggest saying that I say to myself, like nobody's coming to save me. And that allows me to understand that no matter what goes in my life, you have to get yourself out of it.
mm,
That was my checkpoint. Me being in a place where financially wasn't stable, mentally wasn't stable, and thinking that somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, Trey, like how you doing?" People don't do that. That's not real life. That's not reality. People don't do that anymore.
mm.
So that was my checkpoint, but a lot of people don't have a checkpoint. And that's something that I emphasize on. Like, find that core memory in your life that pivots you into the person that you are now. Because if you don't have that core memory, you still living through the trauma
Yeah.
and the unhealed pain from when you were a youth or adult, whatever you're going through. So my next question to you is now, knowing that you pivoted and knowing that um you're in a better place, what is one thing that you learned about yourself?
I learned that I'm really, really, really resilient. Like, honestly, since, like, 2019 to, like, now, it's been one thing after the other. And I know that's the story for a lot of people as
Mhm.
well, and a lot of people are really resilient, but, like, when I get down, I get back up, and that really is the gift. I realize that I'm resilient, and then I realize that I believe in myself so much, and I've gone through enough things to realize that the scariest thing in life is really the regret of if I could have done that.
Mhm.
Like, I realized, like I said, when I was in the cancer center, I remember talking to God and just being like, "If you get me through this, I promise you I will go after everything, no matter how scary it is, no matter how big it might seem or impossible."
Mhm.
And so I realized that, like, I don't let the fear stop me, and that I keep going no matter if maybe I learn my lesson or if I get down, because that's gonna happen regardless.
Yep.
But if you can go at it, and, like, for me, every hard thing that I go through, I realize, like, it builds character and it builds my confidence. Like, the definition of confidence is basically self-trust, and that I've gone through so many things and hard things that I realize, like, I have the confidence in myself. If I went through
Mhm.
that, if I did that,
You can do anything.
I can do anything. And also, like, if you keep doing that over and over and over, eventually it's like a habit. It's like it's a way of motion that you go through. You don't even have to think about something that's scary. It's like weight in the gym. If you keep picking it up, you can pick up heavier things.
Mhm.
And that's how I look at it with fears or big ambitions and big goals and dreams, to the
Sure.
point where some people ask, like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I've just been doing it. It's the practice of the pursuit. And I think that's what I would say.
So, and you just said something that's very important. I was gonna ask you about that. So being that you've been through situations where most people would break, how is that when you get around other people that lack that confidence, that lack that motivation, that lack that drive to get to that next level? How is that being around other people that don't have it? Like for me, sometimes like I tell people all the time, like I have three types of friends. I have some friends that are not doing well. Like they have their own shit going on and just like they just don't have that drive to want to change it. I can't control that.
Mhm,
I have friends that are in the same situation as me. We got something, we figuring the shit out, and we good at it.
mhm.
And I got friends that are he already took off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I had to understand at a very older age that you can't really control what people do. It's like you can hold them at your belt, and if they decide to touch the ground, that's on them. Eventually, they're gonna break off from your waist,
Mhm,
and then you can have people at your waist level that's right there with you through the whole thing. You have people that you trying to catch up to.
mhm.
So, what the people that don't have it, they just let's say they take shit for granted. How do you handle that, knowing that you went through something that was very traumatic and that was in a sense life altering? How do you handle that when you're around other people?
Kinda like you said, like, for me, I realized that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and you can't expect that from people either. I understand.
For sure.
Like, it's a lot, and if you don't love it, I wouldn't encourage anyone to do it,
Mhm.
and especially, like, the creatives entrepreneurs, like, doing something that, they don't even push because, "Oh, that's not a real job," and stuff like that, like, that's a lot to go through, and again, like I said, if you don't love it, I wouldn't recommend it,
Mhm.
and
Facts.
for me, I try to surround myself genuinely with people that get it. And for me, the people that don't, again, it's like, again, like I don't expect that from them, but I try to lead as example of doing something that I love. And I just hope that they can find that. Like that either inspires them
Mhm.
or it kind of pushes them, like gives them an idea or pushes them in the right path. I don't want to say that they're on the wrong path, but like in terms of where they might not feel like they have a purpose and stuff like that. Like and also with what I'm trying to do is give people the space
To find their
to
purpose.
find that, but like I said, I genuinely like being around the people that are in it with me, and I like being around the people that are further ahead because that's just the way that I like my circle, and I notice that that's how I can improve and also pour back to people that need me to pour back into them.
For sure.
And so, yeah, I'm constantly having conversations with people who see themselves in a higher space and who are constantly working towards that and are taking action because it inspires me, and it makes me feel like I'm not so crazy for dreaming the things that I'm dreaming and thinking the things that I'm thinking,
For sure.
and it's just I think that's what all creatives and entrepreneurs need.
Yeah, for sure. And that ties into my next question as well too. My follow-up question for the question I asked about being around people that kind of don't see it.
Mm,
How do you handle people not seeing your vision for what it is? Because like before we recorded, we had a conversation about people not understanding how far we want to go because they kind of in their eyes, they kind of limit us to
yeah.
what they can only see for themselves. They don't really see how far our vision can really go because they be like, if it was me, I probably can do that, but anything else, I don't really know. So how is it? Like I know you said you tend to hang around people that have high expectations and high levels for themselves. But when people come around you and they don't really see the vision, like how do you handle that? Knowing that you've been through something that you made it out of and you know that anything else is possible. How is that being around people that kind of don't see the vision? Like, and it could be friends, it could be family. Like a lot of people really don't see what we see.
I would say that people meet you where they're at.
Mhm.
If they don't see the biggest and best things for themselves, why would they see the biggest and best things for me? Like they can't see it and that's okay for them, but that doesn't make my vision any blurrier. And honestly, for me, like what I've been realizing is, like I said, like for the longest, I was frustrated with the fact that people didn't see it. I was like, why? Like, why can't you see it? But again, they're not you.
Mhm.
And I realized too that I wasn't showing up how I should to even give them a reason to believe.
Mhm.
Like, again, after my event, people started taking me a little bit more serious because it was an idea that was in the physical that they could experience. But
Mhm.
before that, it was just talk. And I'm not a words person. I like seeing action too before I believe someone. So I
Sure.
understand it. I get it. And it made me be like, okay, bet.
I'm gonna show
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna show you. And to me, again, again, I'm not in competition with anyone but myself, but I have a competitive energy to be like, oh, like you're not seeing it? Like, okay, bet that's on me.
Mhm.
Let me lock in. And so that's kind of where I'm at, and so I realized that I'm like, "Okay, if people aren't seeing it, that has nothing to do with them more than it has to do with me."
Mhm.
And so I'm like, "Okay, let me show up. Let me be the best me that I can be." And then if they don't still believe it after that, then that's okay because the right people will see it and feel it.
For sure. So
Yeah.
so my next question is like, what do you think they didn't see? Like what did is it something that prevented them from seeing it or they just didn't see it? Why do you feel like they didn't see it?
Honestly, I would say
Whoa, whoa. I know you're too busy watching the episode, but just take a moment to look at the link down below. Make sure you subscribe to the Truth Lounge. Make sure you join the Truth family. Living your truth. This is the perfect place to be, and I appreciate you for tuning in and watching the episode.
I think something that was blocking them from seeing it was my age.
Mhm.
Because I usually in the rooms, like I said, I like being around people that are ahead of me. And sometimes the people that are ahead of you are also years ahead of you in terms of their age.
Mhm.
I personally don't discriminate by age because I learned a long time ago age really just is a number in the terms of where your mental is at and your worth ethic. And so, but I think some people think like, oh, like at the time, who is this 20-year-old? Who is this 21-year-old? Who is this 23-year-old?
Mhm.
Like, who does she think she is? She has so much to learn. She doesn't have all this experience. She hasn't gone through these things. Like, I went through these things at 19. You know, there's some things that I learned when I was 19 that some individuals haven't gone through yet. That's just how it is. Like no one's life is the same in that aspect. So I would say it was my age and maybe just being a woman, you know, like I think sometimes just people in the world that we live in might have certain ideas of how a woman should be and her place and things like that. But I think that, you know, age was definitely a big thing and for them just not being able to see it, like I said, it was me. It was like I honestly had my own insecurities and doubts that stopped me from fully showing up as me to the
Mhm,
point it's like, you know, that quote that's basically like, if you're not showing up completely as yourself, how is your audience supposed to see you? How are they supposed to find you?
mhm,
And so that's my thing. I was like, oh, like I wasn't being Niyah Brown. So Niyah Brown's audience and everything wasn't coming and finding me. They couldn't find me. I was hiding myself. So again, that was on me. And once you realize that and you can take accountability for that, then and you can take action on the accountability that you're able to find, that's how I feel like you're able to get the results that you're looking for and striving for and begging
mhm,
for.
mhm. So who is Niyah Brown? You said you weren't being Niyah Brown, so who is Niyah Brown? Who were you and who is Niyah Brown?
I feel like who I was someone that was trying to fit in and be what social media is projecting what they want everyone to be. Like, I feel like again, social media is an illusion. I do content creation as well. So
Mhm,
it's like social media is nothing but an illusion. You can literally make people believe and see anything that they want.
mhm,
And so I was trying to be the cool Instagram content creator that I was trying to be that and I realized like that's not me.
mhm.
And there's a reason why there was so much friction and there's a reason why things weren't working out when I was trying to do that. And once I realized, like, again, I was trying to be like I could wear, you know, cool streetwear, like, I don't like, you know, like, you play
Mhm.
in different clothes and stuff like that, and now I realize
Influencer.
exactly, you know, and I'm like, "Nah, that's not you. Come on now." You know, like, I personally like having fun. I like genuinely, like, joking around and having fun and just also being nature. Like, again, I grew up riding horses, and I was like, constantly just around animals and, like, a slow-paced life and things like that, and
Mhm.
I like that farm girl my Snapchat name was Barn Girl 2.0. Like,
Yeah, you
let's
definitely young.
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get into that, you know, and I'm really at heart Barn Girl 2.0, and
For
so,
sure.
like, literally, um, once I realized, like, kinda dropping all again, stripped from that as well, like, I would say who I am is someone who wants to inspire, who, like,
Yeah.
feel like their genuine purpose is to be a light, be a beacon, be a star in this world, and once I, like, stopped trying to be what everyone else was being and just trying to be me in terms of, like, again, using my voice. Like the things that I've gone through and the story that I have to tell, that's who I am. Like on like the things that we go through shape us into who we are, but we also get to choose who we get to be. And I was like, let me turn this pain, let me alchemize this pain and turn it into something. And I was faced with all the hard things like that I went through that shaped me into who I am now. And I'm like, I just want to be a good person. Like, I just want to make people laugh. I just want to make people feel seen, feel heard, because I know what it feels like to not be. I just wanna be a friend, and I just wanna be an inspiration, like, if I can help people make feel them feel good about themselves, like, that's who I want to be, like, I want to make sure that when I'm gone, that the content that I put out, that the things that I did for people is still remembered afterwards, and that's cool.
Yeah, for sure, and the thing is that I'm gonna piggyback off that, all that is free.
Yeah,
Being a good person is free. It doesn't
1,000%.
cost anything, but the reward is so high.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of people don't do it because they don't benefit from it. That's why I say
immediately.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I say, like, coming into a space like what we are, podcasters, I guess you can call us influencers or just people, that give back, uh, people don't do it because they don't get anything instantly. It's not an instant gratification, like, they don't get nothing right off bat. Like, you can't be a good person today and get $500 tomorrow. It just doesn't work in our world.
It don't.
But a lot of people don't do it because of that. But my thing is too is the biggest thing that you said that I'm gonna take away from it is the social media aspect of things, and I feel like that's where people struggle the most.
Mm.
I struggle with it even to this day because sometimes I question myself, like, Trey, don't get too motivational on them because they're gonna be like, all right, I'm tired of hearing this man. Let's get him
Yes.
out of here. But at the same time, I say, okay, that person can go. It's somebody else that need it. So it takes a lot of what's the word I want to use? It takes a lot of tuning to be able to just truly be yourself because sometimes you question yourself about like who's gonna accept it, but honestly, who gives a fuck? Like I don't now that I'm myself now, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna follow me, cool. Just make sure you remove me, you know what I mean? Like little stuff like that, cool. But like,
Like, yeah,
um, I don't care who leaves at this point in my life because as long as I'm being myself, I'm happy, and then somebody else is being impacted from my happiness that
yeah,
I'm not losing nothing from. I'm losing something if I'm being fake. If I want to get on the gram, like flex when I'm at the bar or flex what I got on and show off all this, like nobody that's the oohs and the ahs. Like, okay, I might get like story like or reply, but that ain't getting me nowhere either. Like I'm just faking the funk. Like,
I wanna add on to that because you said something that really, 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 really resonated with me, like, I was so scared to, like, get on my social media and just talk because I thought,
mhm,
like, who was gonna listen to it? Like you said, like, what does she know? Who does she think she is? Like, these
mhm,
were my own thoughts and self-doubt getting in the way of my purpose
mhm,
because I realized once I did finally push through that and break through that, there were so many people that were just like, "Wow, that video really inspired me. That changed my
mhm.
mindset." And that's when I was like, "Oh," and that's me just being me. These are just thoughts that just
The
that
easiest thing to do.
the easiest thing there was no friction when I was
Mhm,
trying to be this cool girl model influencer that like and I those like you said they're accessories. Like those are things that you can wear and do, but like me just getting up there and speaking and doing that, and that's why I knew I had to speak at my event was because it was like realizing that I did have a story to tell and things to say that could help people.
mhm.
I would be doing more of a disservice not to do that than to post my fit check.
'Cause so many people need it. People don't see, the thing is too with social media is that, I try to preach this shit as much because I used to be one of those guys. I used to buy all the designer, try to be in the club section. I was a promoter, so that's the type of aesthetics we had to do. But
Mhm.
once I stopped being a promoter, I tried to carry that with me, but it just didn't fit.
No.
Like the thing I tell people is to this day, like, you couldn't catch me going to no thrift store. I didn't start thrifting until what? 2024. But
Wow.
before that, like, man, you can't catch me in no thrift store, man. Take me to Saks Fifth, take me to what's the thing, Farfetch online. Like I want the good shit because when
Mhm.
people see it, they're like, oh, he got money. Oh, he know he on his shit. But reality, people don't give a fuck. They just gonna give you a like and then keep that shit pushing. They
They're
ain't
not
gonna be
gonna
like, oh yeah,
remember
they ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get Gucci to sponsor you. No, that shit don't matter.
no.
But I'm saying that to say this: once I became myself and just did what I always loved to do, like I love music, I love being outside, I love being around people, I like making people laugh. Once I did that, I noticed how much other doors opened for me,
Mm,
and those doors stayed.
mm.
When I was around here living the facade and trying to keep up with social media, those doors they open and they shut, waiting for another, spotlight moment for me. But other than that, they couldn't help me do nothing.
No.
But when you be yourself, like you said, talking, like when I did my speaking event, I was shell shocked. Like people coming up to me like, "Oh my, I really need." I'm like, "You needed me to tell my story?
Yes.
My story helped you?
Yes.
I ain't even think my story's gonna help myself." You know what I mean? Like I just push it to the side. But now being in that space where you're able to expel and just release,
Mhm.
man, so many other people are impacted because they realize like it's not only me.
No, they feel you, and that's what we're all looking for is that human connection. When
Mhm,
I kept going up to, again, Gabe, Kay, I was talking to people like, I'm low key nervous in terms of like, are people really gonna like listen to what I have to say? Are they gonna get bored? Like my speech about in 15 minutes. I hope people don't get bored.
mhm,
I realized like again, the people that need to hear it will hear it. And so once I removed that, people were coming up after my speech saying they felt like I was preaching, I was in church. People said that they had
mhm.
tears in their eyes. Like hearing that and being like, dang, like I was just talking and realizing that like again, what we do is helping people with our words. Like that in itself is a gift and that's purpose. And we have to keep going. We
Mhm.
have to keep going because also, like you said, people don't remember what you got on. They remember how you make them feel. Like it's cool to look cool, I guess.
A lot of people can't afford to look cool. That's why a lot of
No.
people don't care about it. That's why
Yeah.
I say it looks cool, but if people can't afford it to help themselves,
No.
that's too expensive. The
Yeah.
fakeness is too expensive, so why are you trying to feed it to the people if they can't
That.
afford it?
And people are also scrolling on social media for themselves. No one gets on social media like, "Oh, Let me go see. They're, like, looking for themselves. That's why they stop on a motivational video is because they need to hear that.
Mhm.
That's why they stop on a quote and like it because it resonated with them. Your fit in your shoes, they look good. I'll
Yes,
give you that.
I
But
can't
all
buy them.
in today's world that we living in too, we have a lot more things to worry about than what someone is wearing on Instagram.
Mhm. Mhm. That's facts. Shit, gas prices $4,
You
man.
know?
Gas prices, damn, that shit cost more than an outfit.
Man, bro,
Put
like
gas in your car, you better off buying some Jordans.
right, start posting that. Like, I filled up my
Yeah.
tank today, y'all.
It showed. But I do, we got a couple minutes left. I do wanna go ahead and give you your flowers for your event since we're on the topic about that. You know what I
Thank
mean? Like
you.
I said, before the event took place, we had our conversation about it. And to see the outcome of it, I know now that you know in your heart, like this shit is about to go to another level. Like this shit is about to scale off. You know what I mean? Cause like just from what you did alone, it opened up doors for you, of course, and everyone else involved. But now that's gonna open up the biggest door possible for you. Cause now when you want to do another event, it's gonna be so many people ready to pour into it
Mhm,
and just help you do it because they need it again.
mhm,
Like the streets hungry.
mhm,
Like you told me, like you know what the creators, you know what the people in Tampa need because you have the vision for it. But now people see your vision, so now they're gonna give you that boost. So like I said, I'm definitely happy for you, and I know that going forward, that one, I'm gonna be at the next one. I don't care what life throw me, I'm gonna be at the next one. Even if I got an Uber there, I'll be at the next one. But I know going forward that like everything that's coming your way is gonna be great. And if you do even experience some hurdles, like you said before, you've been through enough to know where like, okay, this is like the quiet before the storm. Like
Yeah.
this is just knowing that something is gonna bless me even times 10.
Mhm.
So with that being said, how was your own output of your event? Like how did you feel? Like what resonated with you the most besides the people?
Hmm. What resonated with me the
Because
most?
the people are important, but it's deeper than the people. Like you did it for the people, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, in the back of your heart, you did it for you too, because it
Mhm,
was something in your soul that needed to release, and you needed to put or build something together in order to really like be at whole or be at peace with
mhm.
something. So what resonated with you other than the people?
Honestly, I feel like it definitely hit me afterwards, the fact. Like,
Mhm.
before I was, like, making sure
Jittery.
everything is good. Yeah, like,
Hmm.
again, just trying to make sure I remember, like, calling Kay, like, "Are you sure we don't have to do anything else? Like, we just have to show up and be ourselves? Is that that's all that's left to do?" Afterwards, just taking a second in, and one of my friends made me sit down, like, while it was going on and just take a look around and realize, like, we're just sitting in, like, so I would say the biggest, like, output is the fact that, like, I really did take an idea and something that I pictured and I made it happen. And that
Hold on, I want to add on something. You took an idea. I don't want to use the word last minute, but you didn't give yourself a lot of time on that idea either. So uh, I said I want to give you flowers because I was thinking that I said, damn, this only been a thing for about what a month and a half between the two.
yeah.
I'm like, if she would have had a little bit more time, just give her 3 months. Because most people that do conferences and events like that, 3 months in advance. Like you go see what's his name? Is it? It's not E.T. It is E.T. Eric Thomas. I think that's the name. Whatever. E.T. You see E.T. Inky Johnson, David Shands. All they do their conference like they got a conference this month or next week, and I think Chicago.
Mhm.
Yeah, that shit going on since December.
Yeah.
But you only gave yourself a month and a half or a month at least
To market it.
to market it. Look what you did. You really gotta like sit in that moment and be like, I can't really be fucked with. And of course humbly,
Mhm.
but you did your thing. Like, I was like, "Damn," and that inspired me
Thank you.
because 'cause I'm like, people been telling me for the longest, "You need to do a mental health event." I'm just like, "I don't know. Mental health is a subject, like, people ain't gonna really wanna show up because they wanna be vulnerable." Even though I spoke at one, it was 100 people, it's just like, "Well, why Trey?" So, seeing that you did it, I'm like, "Nah, she had that battery in my back, motivation. I'm going ahead and work on this shit." But, like, bro, like, I'm giving you your flowers, bro, like,
Thank
I
you.
was very, very proud.
Thank
And I
you.
didn't even have to be there to experience it because what people told me, I sent some people there, their feedback and how they connect, I'm like, "Man, that's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing."
you. Like, That's like, what you just said is exactly what I wanted from it. I wanted to give I get the times that we're in. I know how hard it is, and I know how much it helps when we can lean on people.
Mhm,
Like, again, like again, I did it for people. Like, I mean, yes, I did it for myself, but I really did do it for people
mhm,
because I get it. I'm in the game with y'all.
mhm,
I know what I need. I know what y'all need.
mhm,
Again, I like it felt inspiring for me. Like I threw an event that I wanted to go to.
for sure.
Being around those individuals, like, bro, people are so cool when you really get to talk to them and learn them and hear their stories, like
Mhm,
genuinely. And it's like the biggest takeaway again was like I did it, but like I'm excited because I just was proud of myself in that moment
mhm,
because it really was like it almost was like I was able to it genuinely was a clear stamp in my mind that I took something that was really, really hard in my life, something that was really, really painful,
mhm,
and I turned it into something that so many people benefited from,
mhm,
that so many people found value from. And to me, like, that really is the just definition of alchemizing it. And like, again, hearing the feedback, it's crazy because it was so much that went into it, then it was there, and then it was gone. And now everyone's like, "When's the next one? What are we doing? What are we
mhm,
doing?" And it's super, super exciting because, again, I like, in our conversations, it was like, I don't know how many people are really gonna show up. I don't know what people are going to perceive the event as, but having the faith that, like, I have something to give and that I know what I can do
mhm,
and just allowing people to experience like, I think creativity is so cool because it's taking you and allowing people to experience you through
mhm.
different things,
The
whether it's
expression.
expression, whether it's music, clothes, podcasting, events, and I think that was one of the first times as I've gone through I think it was one of the first times that people were really able to experience me and for me to even experience myself fully
Mhm,
after the hard things that I've gone through, and it was a nice turning page. Again, it was right after my birthday, like, I just turned 23 on the 21st of March, and so doing it right after it was really me, like, stepping into this new version of me and fully accepting that, and even also giving people the opportunity to step into the versions that they want to feel it, to be
mhm.
inspired by it, and to lean into it.
Facts.
And so I'm just so grateful for the people that did show up and the community, the way that they showed up and supported, the feedback, the repost, like, even everything you said it was like a month leading up into it, but, like, yeah, we ran ads, but what was really, really helpful was the community of people that helped me shoot it. Again, Gabe helped us shoot it for the hands. Vonnie, Danny helped with the videos beforehand. Luke, like, everyone played a part into it, and everyone was liking, reposting, commenting, like, all these aspects. It wasn't just me. Like, it was really nice to feel supported, and then for people to be like, "I'm so glad I supported it." Like, for me being like the event was almost like a thank you to what was going on. So it just was so amazing. It was such an eye-opening experience, and it gave me the green light in my mind that, people are actually seeing me for what I'm doing and they recognize it, and to keep going because people need it. And again, I feel like I've found I don't wanna say my purpose but, like, I genuinely do feel like I've found my lane in
Mhm.
alignment, and I'm excited to just pave
Keep
the
going,
way.
keep going, keep going. That's all I can tell you, just keep going. Like, I'm overly happy, like I mentioned before. And my next question for you as well too is, you know, what if somebody wanted to do exactly what you just did? Being like put something together. It doesn't even have to be an event on that type of scale, but just putting something together and they're kind of lost or they're kind of scared. What advice would you have for them? What is one thing or one thing that you kept in the back of your head no matter what, like that got you through creating the event and excelling with the event?
You wouldn't have the opportunity if it wasn't meant for you, and I think you have the idea for a reason,
Mhm,
and it is your job to bring that to light. It's your job to bring that to the reality.
for sure.
And if you feel lost and hard, I would say take time with yourself. And sometimes if you feel lost or you feel like there's friction, make sure that that's the path that you're meant to be on. Because I was trying to pursue something straight modeling. Now I'm speaking. And I always felt like it was there, but I wanted to be pushed something else first. Like, make sure you're in alignment. And then, yeah, surround people that really understand it and see it and get it. Like, excuse me, like My biggest thing was, again, like, December 29th, me and Kay locked in, and we said we're gonna be each other's accountability buddies. I would not be able to put that event on the way it went, the success it had without Kay, genuinely. Like, having someone that is right there with you, that is going through the same things, that believes the same things, that like, genuinely, even from beforehand through the event and afterwards, like, full on just in it with me, just, like, made such a difference, and that's like, I want to embody the fact that behind every successful person, there's a team of people behind it.
Absolutely.
I genuinely, and I keep saying it, could not do this event alone, and I want people to understand that because if you're going through something and it feels hard, try to surround yourself with people that could help you because you don't have to go it alone. Social media might make it seem that, "Oh, we can do all this alone," or, "Oh, like, fuck the world and all this." Bro,
It's a lot behind the scenes.
it's a lot behind the scenes. Bro, every single celebrity that you're looking at has a team, management, PR, like social media. Every athlete that you see has a team. Like a lot of the people that you look up to aren't doing it alone. They might be the face of it. I might be the face of the Night Network of what's going on, but I genuinely have a support system. I have, friends and family. I have, people that are genuinely pouring into me that are helping this vision come to life.
Mhm.
And that is what I want for every single person. That's another reason. Listen, if you go to an event like the Creator Catalyst, like the Nine Network, you might meet your team. Put yourself out there so that these people can come into your life. One of my mentors says, opportunity flows through people.
Mm,
So surround yourself with people who also get it.
facts. Yeah, man, and the best way I can think about it, because I love my metaphor, is a flashlight isn't just a light bulb. It got something surrounding it. That way it can be on a straight path to where you wanna look at. So, yeah, man, and like I said, man, I'm glad that you not only received your flowers, but you're giving flowers back to the people that helped you get to where you are or where the event, landed at. So that's really important, and yeah, I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready for whatever else you got going on in the future. Um, I always, because we're getting towards the end as well too. So I always ask all of my guests, what are three truths that you have for yourself or that you live by that you feel like other people should know?
Three truths would be one, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. I live by that. I preach it because sometimes the fears that we go through are most of the time mental, and it's something that is not here that could physically stop us, but we let it really, really take over our lives. I would say, yeah, false evidence appearing real. I would say that your mindset is everything. How you view the world, how you view yourself, and perspective is how you live your life. So if you can change your mind, you can change your life. A lot of the things that we're going through might just be an old way of thinking. It might be just someone else's thoughts that people pushed onto ourselves. Like, just really, really take a second to see if you have a negative thought. That's we're not taught to be negative. Know that there was maybe a teacher that told you that, maybe it was a parent, maybe it was some friend or a bully placed that on you. So just understand that you are in control of your mind. And then another one that I would say would be that once you realize that life is coming from you and not at you, you can take accountability for that, you will start noticing a difference. Because, like I said, it's your mind, but it's also your habits. It's also, who you surround yourself with. Like a lot of the time people really think that, "Oh, why did this happen to me today?" But sometimes you don't realize what we did to get that to happen to us. Life is a game of cause and effect, And so, yeah, really realize that your life is coming from you and not at you. And I feel like if you can find peace in that and you can move from that, you will think life is a lot easier.
For sure, and that's all great three truths. I do want to say something before we do head off to the end of the episode.
Mm.
I want to give a shout out to your support group just because the visuals were amazing. Shout out to Kay as well. Kay reached out to me personally and asked me like, "Hey, we got free tickets. Like, hey, we need you here." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I told us like, "Hey, I already, or we already done talked to Naya. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna be there."
Yeah.
So shout out to your team. They really push you. They help with the visual aspect. I've seen a lot of people recording and posting.
Mhm.
And another thing too is, as y'all seen, she's only 23, but the people that were at her event were double her age, and there was some people that were a little bit older. this is something that I advise all people to get into. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself to be around people that are younger than you,
Mhm.
older than you, or probably the same age as you, because we all think different, but it all can align to one main goal that we all
Mhm.
have with each other.
Mhm.
So shout out to your community, shout out to your support group, all amazing things.
Yes.
Let the people know where they can find you, your social media. Let them know your network and your podcast page as well too. And then also let them know if you got anything else upcoming, like any behind the scenes or anything like that.
Okay, guys, where you can find me is my Instagram. It's gonna be the Niyah Brown, TheNiyahBrown. And I have everything linked in there in terms of the podcast. You can find it on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's called I Am Not My Hair. And then in terms of like my Naya Network page where we post for our events, us in the community, it's just the Naya Network. And upcoming events, I would say if you're in the Tampa community, stay tuned. There's gonna be some stuff with the Naya Network. And then again, in terms of our next creator catalyst, hmm, possibly. You guys gonna have to stay tuned for that because I don't want to promise anything too soon because that one does take a lot more intention and time. And now that we do have more elements that we can add to it, I want to make sure we do it right. And yeah, again, I have a bunch of content coming up soon from the behind the scenes of the event and just some lifestyle things. And if you guys are even needing help with content creation, I might even have some tips and stuff that you'll be able to find a way to get into this if you're looking to be a creative as well on my pages. And you guys can always send me a DM if you're looking for anything in terms of inspiration or even just someone to talk to. You can send me a DM and I got you.
For sure, for sure. Well appreciated. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's definitely an inspiration for me to go ahead and take care of my things with my event that I want to create. My event has been on my mind for years. It's just understanding that it can take a lot from people, and people have to be ready to actually, because it's like a and I hate to make a comparison like this. It's like one of those AA meetings where alcoholics go and they got to show up and be themselves. I don't
Mhm.
want to just get up there, and I feel like what speakers a lot of time they get up there and they tell their story, but I also want people to be able to tell their story as well too. That's kind of the biggest thing for me. So
Mhm.
finding strong people ready to share their story in a public setting, that's probably gonna be one of the biggest challenges. So
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
inspire me a little bit. And yeah, I look forward to whatever you have coming up. And I'm pretty sure everybody else will. Y'all make sure because this conversation could have went a little bit longer. So if y'all want a part two, y'all know what to do, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Just run it up, reach out, comment. Make sure y'all follow her, support her platform as well too. And yeah, man. Appreciate you coming and
Thank
sitting
you.
down with me, being vulnerable, and yeah, sharing some gems with the people. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me and taking the time to, out your busy lives and busy schedules to, sit down and have this one on one.
Mhm.
And I look forward to your events as well. Any way that I can support you in the Tampa community or just the community in general,
For sure.
I will be there.
For sure. For sure. And y'all know how I am with the outro, man. Go on.